This is the Berman Method podcast featuring Dr. Jake Berman and physician assistant Jenny Berman. We are here to treat problems and not symptoms. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and not to treat anyone or to give medical advice. If you are interested in any information that we are giving and would like to use this for yourself, we recommend that you contact your primary care physician or reach out to us and ask us questions about yourself specifically. Enjoy.
And we're rolling, baby. Rolling. The Berman Method podcast. Dr. Jake Berman here with my beautiful bride,
Jenny Berman, physician assistant.
What is happening? Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Berman Method podcast, where we are focused on treating problems and not symptoms. We are David going against Goliath, Goliath being the corporate medical system. It ain't right. It ain't doing you justice. The insurance is killing your health care. And we are here to expose the truth that really insurance companies and the Western medical plan, I guess, the Western medicine philosophy is geared towards treating symptoms and not problems.
Right.
We haven't used this example in a while, but it is the most common example we use, where you have high blood pressure. You go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh yeah, you got high blood pressure. Take these pills to help lower your blood pressure. That is treating the symptom. Your high blood pressure is a symptom of a different problem or some other problem. What caused the high blood pressure to begin with?
Right. And how can we fix that to lower your blood pressure longer term?
Exactly. Another analogy for all you gearheads out there, or even if you're not a gearhead, you're driving down the road and your tire starts squeaking. Not because the brakes are going bad, but because the wheel bearing is going bad. You know, it's making a squeaky noise.
Mm-hmm.
You could simply spray some WD-40 on that wheel bearing, and the squeak will magically go away.
But that didn't fix the problem?
Well, it depends on what your definition of the problem is. If the noise is the problem, then yeah, it fixed the problem.
Mm-hmm. But if it's making noise, that's probably not the problem.
Right.
There's probably a different problem that's making it squeak.
Right. Yeah, like your tire's about to fall off.
Oh.
So you're driving down the road, it's not making any noise, and you think the problem's fixed because you sprayed some WD-40 in there, and then you go to stop and your tire passes you.
Oh, no. Does that happen?
Yes, it happens. It doesn't happen as much nowadays, but back in the day, it used to happen. It happens on trailers all the time. So whenever Mike, my stepdad, tows one of our boats around, he's always very cautious because he's got experience, because he's been dealing with boats his whole entire life. He has experience of a tire coming off of a boat trailer and passing you going down the highway, and it is not a great experience.
Sounds bad. So what do you have to do to fix the squeaky noise?
Replace the bearing.
Oh, okay.
Don't just spray WD-40 on it, replace the bearing.
Cars are not my forte. Or trailers or anything with wheels.
Yeah, so we're David against Goliath. We're going against the corporate medical system. We're trying to spread some truth on everybody, or as many people as possible, to help you make better decisions about your healthcare. It's as simple as that.
Perfect.
All right, that was a good interlude. Now we're all rested up, just coming back from the motherland, the homeland, Jamaica, man. We just come back from the island where it's sunshine 365 days out of the year unless there's a hurricane there. We're down in the tropics. The sun is shining. Beautiful weather all day long, every day. No pressure, no problem. Everything Irie, man.
You sound just like them down there. We hope everybody had a great Memorial Day, got some extra rest, an extra day of rest.
Yeah, grilled some burgers and dogs and listened to me rant.
Mm-hmm. Had just a relaxing time. Maybe some time off of working out, maybe some time off of work, maybe some time off of being so focused on the meal plan, which is all absolutely okay to do with a healthy, balanced lifestyle.
Is that what we're talking about today? Balance.
Balance. Life is about balance. So it works well to talk about that coming back from holiday, one, and number two, going into summer where you might have more vacations around the corner coming up.
Yeah. And, it's funny. Balance is a funny thing. Everybody says you have to have the right work-life balance. You have to have the right diet balance, all these things of balance. And in actuality, you're never truly in balance. You're either leaning one way or you're leaning the other way. The key to it is to always come back to baseline. For example, when we went to Jamaica, I personally balanced in the wrong direction as far as exercise and diet goes. But that's okay because I did it intentionally. It wasn't an unconscious thing. It was a very conscious thing where I knew I was going to the homeland. I call it the homeland because we used to have a house down there. I think I mentioned it on this podcast a few times, right?
Probably.
Yeah, my grandparents had a house down in Jamaica when I was growing up, so I grew up going down there a lot as a kid. But anyways, it was a conscious decision that I made, knowing that I was going to be in the islands. I was going to be around a pool bar for an entire week, living the dream in the sun, relaxing, no phone, no computer, no work, none of that stuff. So it was a conscious decision that I made that I'm going to tilt in the wrong side of exercise and diet. However, when I come back, I will go aggressively on the other side to make up for it and get back into a more baseline, quote unquote, balanced state.
Right. And that's the whole key to having a balanced lifestyle and being able to enjoy yourself and live and, do all the things that you want to do is, well, for one, it doesn't have to be all or nothing like it is for Jake. We can definitely still live a little bit more balanced when we are on vacation and making, the right decisions. But even, you have the extra drink, you have the dessert, you don't exercise for a day, you don't go to the gym and go hard in the paint one day, that's okay because well, I should say it's not because, but it is okay as long as you consciously know when you get back how to reset yourself and get back to a good baseline and a little bit more balance. So one trip, one day, one weekend is not going to undo all the hard work that you put into it for a year. You just have to know how to reset yourself, reset the blood sugar, get yourself back in the game of the exercise and get back to your normal as far as whatever your goals are, whether it's maintaining weight loss, gaining lean muscle mass, getting your back to feel better.
It's not easy at all.
No.
Especially when we're on vacation where we're there for a week and I admire you because you get up and you're like, okay, we're going to the gym. And I'm like, oh, hell no, we are not. You are going to the gym. We are not going to the gym. And then she gets dressed and she leaves and 3, 4, 5 minutes goes by and I'm like, damn it. I'm so angry right now. We should be relaxing. We should still be in bed. We should be walking down the beach looking at the sunrise. But I'm going to put my clothes on and I'm going to go get my ass in the gym because Jenny's there and I don't want her to beat me.
But we do more balanced, workouts. We may go to the gym a couple days while we're there, but then we'll do other things that are being able to still be active, but not have ourselves in the gym, not missing out on the sunrises, not missing out on, the quiet time at the resort while we're there. So doing things like paddle boarding or going for a walk around the resort. So we're still being active, but not spending an hour in the gym where we're missing out on other things. And that's okay to do as well, because we know when we get back that we'll be able to get ourselves back in the gym and get back on a normal regimen.
Right. And just so the vast majority of the people listening to this feel a little bit better about themselves, it is not easy. Nobody likes going to the gym. It's very rare that people like going to the gym. Jenny is is weird. Like she is very weird because she enjoys going to the gym. Nobody likes going there. But the key is you've got to go, because once you start moving, that's the hardest part. Is if you just show up and start moving, the hardest part of the battle is already won. Because once you start moving, then it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh, I feel good now. But the hardest part is just getting started. And that's what I was just describing there a minute ago is, we are not going to the gym. You're going to the gym. Then she goes to the gym. Then I'm sitting there going, God dang it. All right, get your ass out of bed, get dressed. Let's go to the gym, because the hardest part is getting there. Once you're there and you start moving, then it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then once you're done, it's like, all right, I earned a third of a beer.
Yep. And you do feel better once you've gotten yourself up, whether, like we talked about, it's at the gym or just doing something a little bit less intense, but for activity. Your body feels better once you've gotten some activity in. It helps with clearing the mind. It releases endorphins. It helps to balance the serotonin, which is, just making our body feel better. But it also helps your joints because you're lubricating and getting those moving so we're not as stiff. Whereas if you, go a whole week, go from moving your body every single day to a whole week of not moving at all, you're going to find that you do get a little bit stiff, or maybe your mind's not as clear.
You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. You can't do nothing. And here's the reason why is everybody knows the older you get, the harder it is to build muscle and the quicker it is to lose muscle. So whenever I would get sick for a week, I can't remember, knock on wood, can't remember the last time I was sick for a week. However, not being able to exercise for a week takes me a minimum of a month to get back what I lost in that week. It's not like you can just get back in there the following week and just pick up where you left off before getting sick. It takes a month to get it back. So it's really no different going on vacation for a week. If you do nothing for a week, you're losing it faster than you're going to gain it. So it's just not worth it. The difference is the intensity, meaning that when we're not on vacation, we go very intense. When we are on vacation, it doesn't have to be as intense.
Right. Your body needs a break.
Yeah.
So this is the time that you can give it a break with still moving and not going as intense as far as reps, cardiovascular, weight.
Right. I do want to bring up something that always amazes me just because of my history of pain and pathophysiology and biomechanics and just being in physical therapy in general. However, every time we're down in Jamaica, I always ask the locals. I just have to. You can never stop working. I just ask people, does your back ever bother you? Do you ever have knee pain? Do you ever have foot pain? And 99% of the time, the answer is no. When I'm asking the locals down there, the answer is no. And it always amazes me, but again, it really doesn't amaze me because it's a 2-hour drive from Montego Bay to Ocho Rios where we stay. And every single time we're making the drive, I always see people on the sides of the road with weed eaters and machetes doing the yard work, lawn care, cutting the grass versus riding in a tractor, riding in a mower to cut the grass. And you're driving by going, holy cow, this is miles and miles of highway that these guys are going to be mowing with a weed eater and a machete. Like, these guys are working hard. And when you think about it, yes, it is hard work, but at the same time, that's what our bodies were meant to do. If we go way back to caveman days, if you want to say it that way, we were built for fighting or flighting. We were built to try to go and fight for our food, or we were built to run for our lives so that the saber-toothed tiger didn't eat us. We were built to do that. So when we're not moving and we're not really exerting ourselves to the full potential or our maximum potential, we get stiff, we get old. It's one of my favorite sayings is, you don't get old and stiff. You get stiff, then you get old. Think about that one. I'll say it again. You don't get old and stiff. You get stiff, and then you get old.
Right.
Right?
Right. Your body breaks down a lot faster when you're more stiff and not moving.
Right. So...
Well, and I'm going to jump in real quick and say they carry everything on their shoulders and their heads down there. They don't use bags. Everything goes on their shoulders. It goes on their heads. So think about the core strength that they have to be able to do that day in and day out and to walk forever with that amount of weight on them.
Barefoot.
Yeah, they don't. A lot of them don't wear shoes. Some of them, we saw more shoes, I think, with the locals.
Well, shoes
lately.
around the resort.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shoes around the resort.
Yeah. But even when we went off.
Yeah, when we go into Blue Hole and get into the back country, they're not wearing shoes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're not. So think about that. These people are walking around with a 30-pound basket of goods on their head, balancing a 30-pound basket of goods on their head, and walking for a mile or 2 or 3. There's no wonder that they don't have neck pain, because they are working their neck out all day, every day.
Right.
Think about the strength it would take, the neck strength that it takes to walk 3 miles with 30 pounds balanced on your head.
Right.
And then we're over here in the land of America bitching and moaning about, oh, my neck hurts. Well, maybe we should quit all this desk work and just start walking around with shit on our head.
Right. That's the problem. We sit too much. We look down too much. Computers.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I said earlier when I'm asking the locals, and 99% of them say they don't have pain. The ones that did have pain, guess what their jobs were?
Sitting. Reception.
Yeah, sitting at the resorts. Receptionists at the resorts.
Mm-hmm. So, and let's go. So the exercise is important. Keep our body moving. But I want to talk even a little bit more in my area on the meal plan and how do you balance that. And I think one of the things that we do that's really, really important is we take snacks with us when we travel. We put them, in the checked bags and take snacks with us so that we have those lean protein snacks to have between our meals. And so if we're having the extra carbohydrates at our meals and we're having the extra drinks which have sugar in them, we're having more calories in general, we still have to balance our blood sugar to help the body to keep up with what we're doing to it for that short period of time. So keeping some snacks available to be able to have that lean protein still every, 3 hours is really important. A lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to eat snacks because I'm getting in all these extra calories, which I get, to lose weight or to be in a maintenance, we either have to have the amount of calories we're burning or to be in a deficit. But again, you're not going to do something on a week vacation that you're not able to undo, number one. And number two, the blood sugar stability is one of the most important things to be able to keep the body at least at a maintenance while you're traveling and for you to get back to the program you want to be on or the place you want to be when you get back from your vacation. So don't skip meals, don't skip snacks just because you think overall you're getting more calories, and continue to focus on getting that protein to help with your blood sugar stability. So that's the first thing. And secondly, I've mentioned it a couple times now, is you're not going to undo what you've been working at in 1 week. It's not going to happen. Yes, the scale might go up a little bit, or yes, your pants might fit a little bit tighter when you get back, although majority of that is going to be water weight and bloating just from having all the extras that you had on the trip. And so it is very simple, maybe not easy, but simple to undo that and get yourself back on track when you get home by refocusing with lots and lots of fiber, lots and lots of vegetables, and protein every 3 hours to help with resetting that blood sugar and getting the metabolism back in gear. Whew. Which, by the way, they don't have a lot of vegetables down there either. Like, at least at the resort. We didn't
There's a
get
lot of fruit.
Yeah, tons of fruit.
Yeah, tons of fruit, not a lot of veggies.
Is more sugar. But
I think it's like that in the majority of the Caribbean, though. When you're on a Caribbean island, it's hard to grow vegetables and it's harder to import them and them still be fresh, but it's easier to grow fruits year round.
For sure.
But you mentioned one thing that I don't want to get too far back because I think it's really important to get some more explicit details on what you said as far as the blood sugar goes. So when we're on vacation, we're generally, actually, before I get into that, so we talked about bringing snacks on vacation. Mm-hmm. You should see this Mary Poppins bag that Jenny brings with us on trips. I mean, this bag is bigger than a carry-on, but somehow she gets it through as a carry-on. And this thing is slap full of jerky sticks, protein bars, all sorts of high protein snacks. And it's one of the best ways that we are able to manage our blood sugar level through a vacation. So that brings us to the next point. You said that when we are increasing our caloric intake, increasing the calories that we're consuming on vacation, a lot of people think that they should skip snacks. However, what you're saying is, even when you're increasing your caloric intake, you should still have high protein snacks, because what it does is it helps to regulate your blood sugar, meaning that blood sugar regulation is highly more important on the short term than calories in.
Right.
That's important. Like, that's really important, because I'm sitting here looking at one of my days and I'm going, holy crap, I consumed 4,000 calories today, but I'm still forcing myself to eat a high protein bar to help balance my blood sugar. Because if you do 4,000 calories without any protein, or because the ratios are so out of whack, carbs and fats to proteins, it's going to make it that much worse. Am I hearing that correct?
Right. So to kind of recap, and we've talked about this a lot in past podcasts, but blood sugar stability is going to be one of the most important things for the metabolic rate, how much your body is burning, how fast your body is burning. So the metabolism, it's important for brain function. So if our blood sugar is high, we're going to have a lot more brain fog. We're going to be a lot more fatigued. We're not going to sleep as well. So your sleep is going to be really poor. You're going to wake up several times per night if the blood sugar is not stable. Energy, I just mentioned that. So the blood sugar stability is really important, not just for weight control and metabolism, but for all these other factors that we still need our body to feel good while we're on vacation, and we still need adequate sleep. So when you're on a trip, don't focus on the calories. Just make sure that you're still getting that protein in every 3 hours for proper blood sugar stability, not only to help you feel good on the trip, but then when you come back, it's going to make things a whole lot easier getting back in the game.
Good. What else do you want to say about this before we wrap it up?
Life is balance.
Life is about trying to achieve balance. So that brings me back to what I started off by saying.
Nobody's balanced.
You can never be balanced. You have the best chance out of anybody at maintaining optimal balance. However, in reality, you're never going to maintain perfect balance. You're always going to be leaning one way or the other. The key is to be doing it consciously.
Right.
As long as you can be doing it consciously, you have a fighting chance at coming back in the opposite direction. Just because you go on a week vacation doesn't mean that you ruined everything. Your pants might be fitting a little snugger, but it's mainly because of the excess sodium that you've consumed on that vacation and bloating, not because you gained 3 pounds of fat, but because you gained 3 pounds of water retention and bloating, right?
Right. Majority of it. Yes. Of course, when you're increasing calories and fats and carbs, that your body will store more fat, which again is one of the reasons why blood sugar stability is so important. But it won't be 3 pounds of fat. It might be a half a pound of fat plus 2.5 pounds of water. And that's an easy thing to be able to reverse. So yes, to go back to it, You're not always going to be in a perfect balance, but the point of the balance is that you can lean one way and get back to it and lean the other way and keep that body as sustained as it needs to be.
Good. And the last thing that I think we should say, because this was a ton of information, especially since summertime's here. It's summertime. Yay. My favorite time of year.
June. Yeah.
And there's going to be more traveling. People are going to be traveling more. Probably one of the easiest things that has the biggest bang for its buck that you can do to give yourself a fighting chance is to drink enough beer.
Water.
Water. Not beer. Water.
Agua. Water. Yes.
Yeah, so this trip was the first time that I actually brought that hydro jug with us. This hydro jug that Jenny's hand me down to me. It's 73 ounces. So my goal every single day was to have that finished by at least sundown. And most of the time I had it finished by 2-3 o'clock, and I could fill it up again and get halfway through it by the time dinner was over.
Right.
But being able to consume that much water just helped so much more, especially the next day, waking up and my rings are not, I don't need a vice grip to get my rings off of my fingers because I'm not as swollen. I'm not as, because the water was.
Right. Not holding on to water as much. Believe it or not, when you drink more water, you excrete more water. You don't hold on to water. So when people come in and their water weight is high, they're actually most of the time dehydrated. Now there's other things that can go into that, but majority of the time they're either dehydrated or had a very high sodium meal. Your body actually holds on to water when you're dehydrated, which is why our rings get tighter, our pants get tighter. So being able to drink that much water certainly does good things for your head and for the metabolism, but also just being able to excrete that excess sodium that you're consuming with eating out more often or eating higher sodium meals. That was a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh.
And it helps the metabolism.
Oh my gosh. Win, 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 win.
All the wins. Just know where the bathrooms are. Which is still a win.
Or just stay in the pool all day and pee in the pool.
No, Berman. Oh my gosh. Don't listen to that. Oy vey.
We're sitting there swimming with 15 kids. Tell me those kids are not peeing all in that pool.
I don't know about all the other kids, but Stella sure won't.
Oh my gosh. Every 2.5 minutes. Potty, 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 potty. Stella, are you freaking sure that you have to go this time?
Even when we're in the ocean or in the bay or whatever, she won't go to the bathroom in the water. She
Potty.
has to come out of the water.
Potty.
Yeah.
Potty.
And leave mama. Go mama. She doesn't want us to watch her go potty anymore. So it's all fun.
Okay, that was fun. Very rested, ready to attack the summertime now. Glad to have gone to Jamaica. If you guys haven't been, I highly recommend it. And I highly, highly, highly recommend not being in the touristy areas. The touristy areas suck. The worst people on the island, in my opinion, are around, like the locals. The worst locals on the island are around the touristy place. It's one of the first questions that I always get is, I hear it's bad. I hear crime is up. Yeah, it is at Montego Bay because that's where all the cruise ships come in. And that's usually where the trashy people hang out, or the trashy locals hang out, is to prey on the tourists that show up. Get away from the touristy parts, get up in the mountains and go see the locals. The locals are really amazing people. They'll work their asses off all day long, all just for a chance. And it's just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it's fun. We
Cool.
like Ocho Rios.
All right, guys. Until next time, have an airy day, man. Keep on keeping on. No pressure, no problem. Every little thing is gonna be all right.
Ciao for now. Thank you for subscribing on your social media and podcast platforms to the Berman Method. Dr. Jake Berman with Berman Physical Therapy and Jenny Berman, Physician Assistant with Berman Health and Wellness. You can find more information on our website, www.bermanmethod.com. bermanpt.com for physical therapy, bermanpt.com/wellness for the health and wellness. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on your podcast platform. So be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us. And if you would like any further information, definitely visit our website and reach out to us. You may also find our free reports on the websites as well, where you can download this free information for yourself. Have a great day.